Hello, my name is Matt and welcome to Vectra News, your fill of gaming news for the week of 15th of March 2014. Coming up in this week's episode, The Witcher 3 is delayed to February 2015, Sony might be revealing a virtual reality headset for the PS4, Infinite Crisis has become an open beta, and a Take-Two calling cast hints at Louisiana setting for Mafia III. The Witcher 3 is shaping up to be an RPG that makes a bold name for itself. It's the first game in the series to feature a fully explorable open world, and so far has had high anticipation from gamers as we continue to wait for its release. Unfortunately, it seems as though we will have to wait a little longer before we can get our hands on this game, as The Witcher 3 has now been delayed until February 2015. Originally, this game was set for release in late 2014. However, CD Projekt, who are the development studio for the game, stated that it simply wasn't going to be good enough if it came out this year. The studio provided an open letter about the delay, which in summary explains to gamers that this delay will help the game reach the quality which is being expected from them. In my opinion, you've got to respect CD Projekt for making this decision. Instead of rushing the game to be released as soon as possible and grabbing the wallets of their consumers, they are providing themselves with more time so they can provide us the gamers with a better experience and a level of quality which is only possible through these additional months of development. I for one can't wait to play this game next year, but what about you guys? Are you looking forward to The Witcher 3? And what are your thoughts about this delay? Be sure to let us know in the comments section below. In Sony related news, the PS4 is said to be receiving a virtual reality headset and is supposedly being announced during the 2014 Game Developers Conference next week. This headset is to be specifically focused on gaming and a strong competitor to the Oculus Rift. There are some third-party developers who have had the opportunity to test out a prototype of this, and from their perspective, it is more impressive than the Oculus Rift. It's definitely interesting to see what Sony will have in store for us with this technology, but a very important question to ask is how much will it set back gamers financially? The Game Developers Conference is held during the 17th to the 21st of March, so next week we should have a clear indication of whether this headset is on the road to becoming a reality. Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment and Turbine have now announced that Infinite Crisis has gone into an open beta. For those of you who haven't heard of this game before, Infinite Crisis is a free-to-play MOBA game set in the DC universe. The game has plenty of familiar features and gameplay elements seen from other games in the genre, but with the addition of a vast choice of well-known superheroes and villains to play as, all of which have several different personas. Before entering its open beta stage, Infinite Crisis was in a closed beta for around just a year, and started with a single map and a selection of 13 champions. But since then, we now have the choice of up to 27 champions and its first ever tri-lane map known as Gotham Divided. To celebrate the beginning of this open beta, Turbine have introduced 3 new champions to the roster. These are Green Arrow, Aquaman, and Mecha Superman. And from this point onwards, we can expect a new champion to be added every 3 weeks and new costumes on a weekly basis. If you like the sound of all of this, you can sign up for the beta right now by simply signing up on the Infinite Crisis website. It's been a long time since Mafia II was released back in 2010, but there may finally be some news about the next game for the franchise. Mafia III could possibly be set in Louisiana after a casting call appeared for a new unannounced project from developers Take-Two Interactive. A website known as allgamesbeta.com published an image of the casting call asking for actors to be used for voiceovers, motion capture, and facial scans. This casting call included portfolios of 3 characters, Franklin, Tony, and Mickey, all of which were born in Louisiana. Franklin is described as a guy in his early 20s, and is both street smart and strong, and knows how to get the job done at any cost. Then there's Tony, a 30-year-old who is said to be not your typical gangster. And finally, there's Mickey, who is a young street hustler who likes to run his mouth. While there is no concrete evidence or mention of Mafia III, the background and personalities of these characters certainly points in that direction. But that's all for Vectra News this week. Don't forget to like, favourite, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter to keep up to date with everything in the network. I've been Matt, and I'll see you later.